Is Daemon Machina Titanic Scion the next Anthem? So this conversation has been coming up a lot, and I feel like we just had to talk about it. I actually even played Anthem again, just to get as much information as I could. And again, this video was also requested by a couple of you guys, and I feel like we just had to talk about it. So I wanted to kind of clear the air about this topic in particular. I was gonna wait until I actually got hands on to the game, onto Titanic Scion, before I made this video, but I feel like we have enough information out there to kind of have an accurate comparison. So let's start. The first major thing is that both games have power armor. Obviously, I know some people hate it or love it, but those things are definitely the biggest thing they have in common, that both games have these power suits instead of the more mechs like Armored Core or Mech Assault. I'm 50-50 with it. I'm a gameplay guy first, so as long as the gameplay is there, I'm there. So take it how you want it. I'm still very excited for the game. But yeah, I don't think there's not like we have a lot of power armor games. The only one I can think of besides these two is literally Vanquish. But yeah, let's just move on to the next topic. The second thing is you can fly. Now I know that's like, oh well, really? But nah, like I don't think you can't fly indefinitely in Armored Core, right? So like, I think this is actually a big thing because it's primarily, again, one of the focuses around the gameplay is you can fly. And I feel like Titanic Scion's flying is now more akin to Anthem's, and where now in Titanic Scion, looks like you have a lot more maneuverability in the air, which Anthem also had, which was one of the best things about Anthem. The third thing is that both of these games are looters. You can maybe call them looter shooters if you want, but they're both primarily based on you getting loot to grow your character. I think they both had some kind of level up system, but in terms of that, they're both looter shooters. And those are the three major things that I feel like these games have in common. So now let's move on to the things that I think they don't have in common. And I feel like it's a lot more than people think. And I feel like after this video, you'll probably feel the same way I do, is that this game, Titanic Scion, is not going to be the next Anthem. The first major thing that these games do not have in common is that Anthem is a live service game. Now, as much as I would like to say, hey, that don't really matter, a good game is a good game, Anthem's biggest faults is that it is built around it being a live service game. And that in itself is the reason why this game is not going to exist soon, which does suck because the gameplay was pretty solid. In my opinion, they just needed content. But Titanic Scion is going to be a full game that you're going to be able to play offline. Now, it does have online modes, of course, with co-op and it being crossplay. But you can play the game offline. And it's a full game on the Switch. So the game's going to be on your Switch, and you're going to own the game when you actually buy it. So, again, that to me is one of the biggest things that they differ in. Now, the second thing is Anthem is a class-based game. Anthem has 4 classes, and depending on what you pick, is how your playstyle is. And you're kind of stuck in that class for a while. I played the game for about 8 hours, getting back into it, and I still haven't unlocked the second class. The classes are Ranger, Colossus, Storm, and Interceptor. I picked the Interceptor, of course, because I like the speed and the melee. But the melee is actually booty. It's not very fun. And we'll get into that more later. But yes, Daemon X Machina, you can kind of build whatever you want. Your playstyle is how you build your suit, and you can be anywhere from a lightweight, fast, melee-oriented mech, or sniper, or big, heavy arms with missile launchers and rocket launchers, or you can freaking have 4 shields and run around like a brick wall and throw your shields at people. And now I think you can melee with the shield. So Daemon X Machina is just going to have a lot more option in terms of your combat playstyle. Also, one of the biggest things is Anthem's customization I felt was pretty limited. Not only is it a class-based system, but your class is locked, your weapons are locked in your class. Also, there's not that many paint options. You have to unlock or buy your paint options. You have to buy emblems. You have to buy different kinds of medals. Again, part of the live service part of the game ruining the game, because in mech games you want to be able to customize. You can't really do that much in Anthem, especially without spending extra money. There might be ways to unlock it, but it takes a long time. And then Daemon Machina, not only going to be able to customize your character, your pilot, you're going to be able to take off your arsenal's armor so you can actually see your pilot, instead of the armor you're wearing. And you're going to be able to customize your heavy armor and your guns and your, like, you're just going to have a lot more customization options in Titanic Scion than you are Anthem. Anthem, in my opinion, too, is primarily more a third-person shooter, which isn't a good thing. The shooting isn't a bad thing. The shooting was actually very fun, especially being able to fly in and out. But the melee was very lackluster, and again, I felt like the game wanted you to stick to just, sticking at range, shooting your enemies. And I feel like Daemon X Machina is more an action-based game, and there's just way more ways to fight, and it's way more built around speed. And Anthem, not being a slow game, it's just not as fast as Daemon X Machina, let's be honest. And again, no, these are not bad things, good things, but I definitely feel like they differ here a lot in the gameplay. Daemon X Machina Titanic Scion is also truly going to be open world. Anthem was not an open world game. It was like an open zone game. Daemon X Machina, I feel like, especially after reading a lot of the previews and whatnot, is that the open world is going to be more like Phantasy Star Online 2 New Genesis, where you're going to be able to leave your base and just go out into the open world. Similar to Xenoblade as well, eclipsXe. So, yeah, Xenoblade, you also have like a lot more options when you leave. You're going to be able to find other bases, and travel in different kinds of vehicles, and even calling your heavy armor to fly around the open world. And the game has been redesigned to keep you out in the open world. So now, because now they're going to have items you're going to be able to add to your arsenal in order to loot or get ammo and things like that. And that's about it. Those are the major things that are different in Anthem versus Daemon X Machina. And again, I'm not saying this to knock either games. Anthem was not a bad game. I feel like the live service part of it is what really hurt it. I feel like if it was developed like a full game with offline and a better co-op system and more content, it could have been a real cool game. Titanic Scion, I might be heavily biased, but this game look a lot better, and I feel like that the comparisons to Anthem are not doing it justice. I feel like the comparisons should probably lean more into like Phantasy Star Online, Xenoblade X, even more Monster Hunter to me would make more sense than Anthem. Again, this is not a knock on Anthem. If you're an Anthem fan, I'm sorry that the game is getting shut down. We might talk more about that later on another video, but yeah, that's all for this video. I don't want to keep this too long, and hope you guys enjoy it. We should have some more Daemon X Machina news on the 19th at Gamescom. I'm hoping they announce a demo. I'm hoping they announce PvP. We still haven't heard about PvP. If they don't do PvP, we'll still be doing the fashion contest like we did for the first game. We'll still have something to do and get the community involved with. But if not PvP, we'll still be running PvE nights as well. So, but yeah, you guys be safe. I hope you enjoyed the video. Like, subscribe. Let's put Titanic Scion on the map. More people are starting to talk about it, which is good. Yeah, that's all I got to say. Peace.